When creating lists here in Microsoft Word, whether it be a bulleted or numbered list, of course, you have the ability to make formatting changes to change up the look or feel of your list. So you might want to change the bullet, the spacing. We're going to talk about that now as we continue working with our recipes document. If you've jumped to this lesson, you can open up recipes 2 to get caught up. We're on page 3. And we're going to start with our bulleted list of ingredients. Let's click anywhere in the list. Now we don't have to go and select the entire set of items here. All we need to do is click anywhere in the list because it's turned on at the beginning and turned off at the end. Now let's say we want to change the bullet. We have the default round black bullet, but there are others to choose from. Let's go up to our paragraph section where we can see bullets are turned on. It's shaded, but click the drop down this time. Here we have a list of recently used bullets. There's our default, and you can see it's highlighted in the bullet library. If we want to turn bullets off, none is an option, and it'll only be turned off for the line we're in. But if we want to change bullets, look what happens when we hover over some of the other ones. It's changed for every line in our list. Maybe we like the squares or this fancy one. There's a few fancy ones in here, and in fact, if we wanted to, we could define our own bullets. But let's just go with this guy here, the little round white one that's hollow. Give it a click, and you can see that changes the look of our list for sure. Well, maybe it should be a little bit bigger or smaller. Or maybe we want more space in between the bullets or less of an indent, for example. That too can be changed. Let's go back to our drop down, and this time we'll go to Define New Bullet. Now from here, we can change things like the character. We can use different symbols. We could even use our own pictures if we wanted to. Let's go to Symbol here and choose from a different font group. We'll click the drop down. Scroll way down near the bottom, you'll see something called wingdings. And there's in fact 3 categories of wingdings here to choose from. When you browse through those, you'll see there's some pretty cool symbols to choose from. Let's go with this little finger pointing and click OK. So we're defining our own bullets now. You can see the alignment is set to left. That's exactly what we want. And there's a preview down below. So let's click OK. And you can see it's changed for the entire group. We also see this little guy, the autocorrect options drop down appear, which we can click if we want to undo that and start over. We'll just leave it as is. Now I want you to see on the actual ruler at the very top of your screen, there are some things happening here as well. If you don't see the ruler, just click View and turn the ruler on from the Show section. Inside our bulleted list, you can see there's an indent, and as we hover over that little guy, you can see it's a first line indent. And then there's some spacing here as well that takes us to the hanging indent and left indent. And it's actually a left indent that's being used between our bullet. So if we wanted to, we could change those items as well. This time though, we do need to select each one of the lines in our list so we're not affecting a single line. And we'll go up to the ruler and let's just drag the first line indent over to the left, right to the left margin. So you can see what it does now. There's no indent from the left margin, and there's more space here. If you don't like that space, that's okay. Just go to that little icon. When you see a pop-up saying you're on the left indent, click and drag that in. Now you can see what's happening at the top. We're also moving our first line indent. So if you didn't want that, just go back up and drag it to the left margin, or maybe just past. There we go. So you have full control over how your bullets are going to appear and where they're going to appear as well. Same thing goes for your numbered list. So if we wanted to, we could click and drag from item 1 here in the left margin all the way down to 8. And from our pop-up tools, we can click the drop down next to numbering. And you'll see there are a number of different options to choose from. Maybe it would look better with these round brackets. I kind of like that. So we'll give it a click. We'll go back to the drop down, and just like we saw with bullets, we can do some cool things like define new number format. Give that a click, opens up the dialog. Now you can see the number styles that we can choose from. Roman numerals, letters, upper, lower case. I think we have the right number style. We could change the font and the format. You can see it there. If we wanted to add any additional text, we could, left aligned. That all looks okay, so we'll just click OK and keep it as is. And again, as you can see on the ruler, we have access to the indents and spacing, but I think it's okay just the way it is. So let's save our changes before we move on to editing our lists of items, including adding sublevels to our lists. That's all coming up next.